St Austell,
Yeah, it was, yeah. And we went to the Eden Project and I cut through the back road to St Austell and I saw the sign for the brewery and I was like, I remember that brewery. Yeah, no, we did.
Brewery and the ice creams done by the Poldark ship for that day as well, I think.
Yes, it was, yeah. But we did, there was I'm sure the fish processing plant was that day as well.
It could have been because I got off I think I got
the
off
first thing
the
was the
bus
pasties
at
in the morning.
lunchtime because Tom got on the bus to do a sit down with him.
I'm sure we went to the fish thing, then we went to the brewery. Then we did the Poldark ship with the ice cream. And then I remember going to a Tesco's and then I did a 2-camera sit down in the back seating area in the bus with Tom.
Yeah. That was a long one. It's a lie. No, it isn't. We're pointing at each other. We play that such a lot.
I can't remember.
That clip gets played a lot.
I can't remember if we did because it was 2-camera.
Except when it's one of my packages and then I use my questions to it from earlier. Yeah. I had to check on all the other because they had obviously him waving pasty a lot and the Cornish pasty is one of those EU protected designated things and they had an answer for that. I can't remember, but obviously we had an answer for that on the campaign as to how it would still be protected. I can't even need to check if that's true. Is it not now all these years on, is that still happening?
Did you pick the staying at home gig out of choice?
No, at all. I'd much rather be on the bus. I think. But that said, it's nice to be at home. See the little fella. It's going to be much harder on family.
I saw the guys gearing up to the target team at Grazing Road last week and I still got it.
Because if there's an embargo, it would be by the 6th.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I did this in the last election.
Well, I lose track of time, but when I was working for you guys down at Millbank, I did one where I was the Millbank camera for the duration of the election. Just the most tedious 5 weeks of my life. Just sat there, just doing nothing.
That's my memory from last time, but
you know, and I'm at the Millbank camera today, Channel 4, if it wasn't for this, I would to nothing.
Yeah.
We've got no lights, no cameras anymore.
I'm involved in some of the debate press, and I'm involved in one of the debate programs.
When's the first one?
It's the 19th, Tuesday.
Next Tuesday?
Yeah. A week to that.
Right, yeah.
I'm involved in sort of getting in the later programme where all the other party leaders have their reply, which is on later that night.
Right. Where are is that the ITV one or the ITV? Where are they doing it? Salford?
Yes, I think that is right, and then the rest is being done in Stratford. And then to the other people, the other leaders, go down. It's a whole separate programme.
Is it part of an Olympic Park somewhere, something like that? So with an audience?
I don't think so. No, I did ask Queen's Bible Stratford. I'm meeting about it tomorrow, we'll find out.
Just trying to think what venue other than the Olympic venues there is in Stratford.
Do you know what there is in Stratford? Do you remember during the referendum we had Cameron versus Farage? It wasn't quite a debate, it was like a Q&A in front of an audience, one after another. That was Stratford.
It was like a warehouse or something. Was it
studios or something?
Studio.
I never went. I wasn't inside, I was outside. outside.
Yeah, I did say to Dominic, we caught a long straw, not a short straw on this one. Being inside doing the clip as opposed to outside on the off chance.
Oh, I think that's
Well, I think Carl did that.
And then she said, yeah, well, I know. I was talking about she and I rather than you. Did you get anyone?
Got Ben Wallace actually.
Oh, right. Oh.
It's just you can see it coming a mile in, because they're telling you that the miners come up first. It's the same in the suit, that's sort of like a car kind of thing.
Yeah, oh, but,
So funny. You see them coming up first.
yeah, and it's really difficult to justify not walking across from there, isn't it? It's like really stupid to drive across, wouldn't you?
He was having a shot nose, which is and then I had a row with the Huscombs security man. It was bizarre. So Nappers and I walk back. He goes to go through the turnstile, gets stuck. So as he's stuck, I start
We're going into the common.
into PCH, yeah. So I put my pass against the thing to free up the turnstile to let it through.
Oh, there you go, you can do it.
And then I knew I couldn't go through. You can't use the same pass twice. So I went through to walk through the office. Just as a courtesy, I said, oh, by the way, your turnstile just got stuck. I had to call me through the press of line. What? You let someone in your pass? You're not allowed to set someone in your pass. I know it's a pass. But the gate was stuck. You don't understand. So I started chuckling. I thought, if I hadn't said anything, I could just walk through. No, you're not taking this seriously. No, you're not listening to me.
No.
Give me a pass. I'm taking your number. I should take this pass away from you by rights.
But I'm not going to.
I need to see the person you let through. So I have to call Chris back in.
Good shows, pal.
Your daughter's still coming up our way to see a friend.
She's been seeing her for a while, actually, to be fair. I stopped her from seeing her after you. I realised you lived next door. No, she hasn't seen her. It's like they were at school years and years ago, you know, it's like. And you get to that point where you see someone once in a year or whatever, don't you? And then it's like, it's never going to happen. Yeah, it's never going to happen. So, yeah, no, that's it. And they're very different. Macy's, Maisie. She's a fashion student at London Fashion College or something.
Oh, okay.
And she works in clothes shop at Westfield. She's quite eclectic, you know, she's very out there, whereas Holly's very straight down the line. They've grown apart in their tastes.
Yeah, okay. I haven't seen much activity around the place. The cars that come and go seem to be nicer and nicer every time.
Oh.
Range Rover Vega.
Oh, really?
Or one.
Should be 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. He'll be here in 5 minutes,
You telling Iona, John?
No, I've pretty much done that. You know, it's like however I set it up, I'll have to move it slightly for the Prime Minister. So. 1, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2.
Begin.
You're going to step in every minute now.
Yeah, that's right.
what we should really do is have a sweepstake on whether that's a real 10 minutes or a TV 10 minutes, which will actually just creep a little bit. You're right to hold the mic, Carl. I take it.
Table was empty in the cabinet office. Wasn't in the
It's a briefing room, co-briefing room, isn't it? That's fine.
Prime Minister is Uxbridge in South Ruislip, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
I say that only because it's my parents.
His Lib Dem opponent has just pulled out.
Oh, really?
Well, I'm trying to funnel all the
Her
votes.
mother is very ill.
Oh, no, oh, right, not because they...
No, not because of something she said on Twitter once. No.
No, I thought more pulling out to try and boost the Labour vote. But
No.
But as in,
to be fair, they lost their majority. They lost their deposit there last time, didn't they? So,
Did they?
yeah.
Oh, look, it's 10:30 a.m. this morning, so that's not new. It's just popped up on my timer. It's not new. Oh, well, Lord Bramall has died. That's new. He's 95.
I saw Frank Dobson.
Yeah, he
Dobson
died as
died,
well
didn't he?
today. Yeah, or it was announced today.
He didn't seem that far back generationally, if that makes sense.
No, well, he's 79, so not
No,
Not
I know, but
very
it didn't feel...
all that long ago. Do you mean?
No.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
If you'd have asked me generationally, I would have put, sort of Michael Heseltine, Kenneth Baker, all that lot as a generation before him. Would that be right?
Yeah, they would
Yeah.
be. Yeah. Baker looks quite. You see Baker on Millbank.
Yeah,
he
he's
looks
got the
old.
office down the end, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, he did. They've taken the signs down, so I
Have
wonder if
they?
they left.
It was the Baker something
Yeah,
foundation,
that's
or something,
right.
wasn't it? Was it Educational Foundation or
Mm.
something?
That was his big thing, as Education Secretary.
How's John Prescott these days? Anyone heard anything on that? Didn't he have a stroke? Carl.
Did he? I didn't know that.
I don't know.
Am I imagining that? Didn't he have an illness?
Google.
I'd look myself, but I can't.
Oh, you did have a stroke.
There you go.
Right. Back in
Yeah, it was like I'm going to say a year ago.
June. No, it was this.
Oh, it was this year, was it?
Yeah. I feel like this year sort of merges into. I don't know. So much has happened this year. I kind of feel like it was last.
I can't tell you what I did last week, never mind
No, I know.
6
No,
months
no,
ago.
I'll tell you what I did yesterday. Waste day.
I just saw Ken Clark clearing out his office just now.
Did you?
Yeah. Felt quite like
Yeah, it's a big,
quite a moment.
big moment in time, really,
Quite,
isn't it?
quite a sad thing. He looked quite happy.
You look quite happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I went and said good luck to him. He seemed quite perky. He used to be my MP.
It's hard to imagine when you've been involved and around that for so long.
Mm.
It's a big, big change in your life, isn't it, God?
I haven't properly followed this story, but why was the BBC Breakfast cock up on the Armistice Day
Oh.
picture a conspiracy? In what way did that benefit?
I saw that. What did they
Prime
do?
Minister.
Did they
They used
use
picture from a few years ago.
A few years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
How can you mock that up?
Because they had put it on the system. They brought up the library
Carl,
to
this
use
is
it.
Also, yeah.
To use it as a preview. So later
Right,
the
I'm
Prime
with you.
Minister will,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
stayed on. But what I don't get is why that's a conspiracy. What in what way? See, Matt Carter's our cousin, but I don't know in what way that benefits anyone, the Tories in particular.
No, not really. Thanks.
If anything, issue 546, so when it starts to get a
But not to use line, yeah. So yeah.
It's us.
I was going to say, it sounds like your man.
Cool. We're still waiting for the PM. He is about 5 minutes.
That was because he laid the wreath upside down. He laid the wreath upside down this year by accident. So the conspiracy theory is that's why they showed over the picture.
No. No, I didn't.
Which I've seen pictures of the much younger looking Prime Minister.
It
with the
was,
wreath.
yeah.
Still no go. Have the final decision.
Margaret, there wasn't any sort of photos or anything taken from the COVID side.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, not that long ago.
Don't usually know. Don't worry.
Do that button, please. That's launch. Launch and return to base.
Electric sash, wouldn't it? It's not bad for. They're pulling on it, are they?
It's nowhere near it, so.
system.
Exactly, you couldn't pull them up. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's why. But it defeats the object to have a bulletproof window if you can open it. Completely blast-proof.
It's like stone, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. It feels like stone. That's probably one.
It's probably one big.
That's not
thick,
that's not
yeah,
double
it's not
glazed.
double
That's
glazed. It's
actually
one thick bit of ballistic something.
Time card.
20 to 6.
About now then.
Yeah.
It was 10 minutes, about 10 minutes ago.
I told you it'd be a TV 10 minutes, didn't I?
Even for us optics going back into these.
Yeah, I was just even here.
6:30, it's going to be sent to the ground and cost us a huge amount of dollars
I thought you guys saw it, but that's clearly that approach failed.
Try to push on to the next 5 minutes, which will be late.
What time is it?
20 to 6. We just BBC the smart track.
How long approximately will it take for you have to go back and look at when we leave here to
It's live.
those how long
It's quite a slide now.
So they'll record it. They'll record it as it's done.
So will it be on TV as we say it?
No,
No,
they won't take it live. But they'll. So the moment he does it, they'll have it on their server.
But we can't keep it live. We'll finish it and then we can.
No, did I peaked too soon, didn't I?
of Dennis Taylor.
What a claim to fame.
The upside down glasses. We're just having it sent.
Does it?
Bulletin, I remember those doing surgery. I remember Tim was like, I can't give you another duration because flooding is just
Yeah.
losing.
Because he was already up there by.
On Saturday, he was mopping on Saturday.
Oh, that was Saturday.
Prime Minister, towards us and to your left, please. Towards us. That's it. Yeah, lovely. That's it. And then just turn yourself towards Carl very slightly.
You ready, Matt?
I will be in 1 second, my friend. Camera's running.
Okay. Prime Minister, these floods started last week. Why has it taken you until today to hold a Cobra meeting?
Well, I went up to Matlock in Derbyshire, I think, on Friday, and the situation continues to be very concerning, very worrying in the sense that 850 homes have had to be, 850 homes have been flooded, about 3,000 people have been evacuated, and, you know, as I've seen for myself, anybody who goes to a flood will know, you cannot underestimate the trauma of being flooded, and it is a very, very serious business, and so our sympathies are very much with the victims. But I also pay tribute to the work of the emergency services. I think they've done a very, very good job in the last 4 or 5 days. The situation, I would say, is getting slightly better. There are grounds for cautious optimism in the sense that the forecast today isn't perhaps as bad as it was yesterday. But we have to do absolutely everything we can to help the thousands of people who are affected, and so we're making sure that we have cash available for immediate support. Council's actually doing a very good job of providing immediate support. I saw that for myself up in Derbyshire. Insurance, there are schemes, as you know. There's the Bellwyn money that's available for flood victims or victims of any disaster of this kind. So government steps in to support, and we'll be doing that for businesses, about £2,500 for businesses that are affected. And the one thing I would say, Carl, is that, yes, things perhaps are stabilising. Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire are in recovery. Doncaster, the Don Valley, that's still worrying, but possibly getting a bit better. But the ground is so waterlogged across large parts of the country that we simply have to prepare for more floods this winter, and a huge amount of energy and effort is going into that right now. So where the army is needed to provide more sandbags, more aggregates, we're doing that. The Environment Agency is on hand to provide more flood defences, and we're doing that as well. And I think, although clearly it's an absolute tragedy for people who've seen such damage to their homes and indeed to their livestock, the Environment Agency hasn't done too bad a job in protecting thousands and thousands of homes that might otherwise have been damaged. But there can be absolutely no cause for complacency in the weeks ahead.
The people who've had their homes flooded won't be thinking that, and many of them feel forgotten. They say they feel forgotten by the government here in London. What's your message to them?
Well, I want to thank all the local authorities who've worked very hard, and clearly the government has at all levels has been coordinating a response, whether it's with the insurers or with local councils, with the fire brigade, with the police. As I say, I was up there about 4 or 5 days ago, and will continue to go there. I think the worry for me is really that there are some people who are continuing not to listen to the advice of the emergency services, Carl. So I would just say to people, the emergency services do have sound advice. When they advise you to evacuate, you should do so.
Your political opponents say that funding for flood defences has been skewed towards the southeast, and that if this had been happening in Surrey instead of the north of England, there would have been a national emergency been on. Are you taking it seriously enough?
Well, there's a huge amount committed. I think 2.6 billion has been committed by this government to flood defences. And as I say, I think, look, I'm not going to minimise the impact on anybody who has suffered damage to their home from flooding. But I really do pay tribute to the work of the emergency services, the police, the fire brigade, everybody who's been involved, and and also the Environment Agency. And I just think we have to recognise that the ground is now waterlogged across large parts of the country, and it's not just in Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire and South Yorkshire, which may be getting a bit of a temporary respite, though we can't be sure. In the next few weeks and months, the rainfall could cause flooding in many parts of the country, and we simply have to be prepared. And we are certainly putting the resources into it. And since you've raised politics and the political situation that we're in, it's only by having a robust government and a robust economy that's able to finance fantastic infrastructure that you're able actually to invest in long-term funding for flood defences as well as infrastructure, to say nothing of spending on the NHS and everything else. So since you raise a political point, Carl, I must respond to that.
The question is whether the flood money is going to the right places.
Yes.
Your opponents say it's skewed towards the southeast, and not enough is going to the areas that have been affected this time.
Of course, that's the flood defences are. The whole country is protected. As I don't know where that idea comes from. We're coordinating a national defence and programme of flood defences. There's been 2.6 billion of national investment, and the Environment Agency is there to ensure that cash is spent on the right defences, the right earthworks, the right earth banks, and everything else that we're going to need. It's not just this winter that we're going to face this crisis. We have to face the fact that in the long term we will need to invest in significant flood defences across the whole country, and that's why we've already put aside 2.6 billion. That's why we think it's right that this is the moment when a strong government with a strong economy behind it should be investing in infrastructure for the long term and to protect our people from future floods. But at the moment, I have to say, I think emergency services, local authorities, Environment Agency have been working flat out to deliver an adequate response. I know there will be people who feel that isn't good enough. I know there will be people who are worrying about the damage to their homes, who will be worried about their insurance situation, worried about the losses that they face. All I want to say to those people is that there are schemes to cover those losses. We do ensure that people will have protections against flood, and those are certainly being activated now.
Were there any particular decisions on that taken at Cobra today?
Well, I think that one of the decisions that we've generally taken is that we should make sure that we interpret the insurance scheme so as to be as flexible as possible and to recognise the particular circumstances that people face. And I think there was also a request for a little bit more help from the military in getting sandbags and other defences to some of the areas. But again, the key thing is that that people affected by flooding, when they get advice from the emergency services, that they do adhere to that advice. And I think that we may be lucky this week. On the other hand, there may be another downfall, and we downpour, and we have to prepare.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.